I need to report a crime.
You can fight for the money, but that'll take you most of a year and cost you twice what you're owed.
You need to be very careful.
Let's not do that.
Welcome to Screen Recaps, and today we are going to recapping the movie Rebel Ridge. The movie opens with Terry Richmond, a former veteran, cycling down the road, listening to music when he's abruptly stopped by two officers, Evan Marston and Steve Lawn. They accuse him of fleeing when they tried to pull him over, but Terry explains that he didn't hear them due to his earphones. The officers proceed to question Terry, searching his backpack and discovering a large sum of cash. When Terry refuses to let them search further, they detain him, calling for a K-9 unit to investigate the money. Terry eventually gives in, and the officers find nearly $30,000 in the bag. Terry explains that $10,000 is for his cousin Mike's bail, who was jailed for marijuana possession, and the rest is for buying a truck to haul boats. Despite Terry's explanation that he got the money from selling his car and investing in a restaurant, the officers confiscate the cash, suspecting it to be drug-related. Evan informs Terry that he can get his money back in 30 days after completing the necessary paperwork, or risk being jailed for money laundering. Frustrated but with no choice, Terry complies and is let go. He heads to the courthouse, where he meets Elliot, a court clerk, and informs him that the cops took all his money, making it difficult to post his cousin's bail. Elliot refuses to help Terry because he doesn't have any money, and informs him that the jail is being renovated, leading to all prisoners being transferred to state prison. Though his shift has ended, Elliot leaves, while Terry is upset about his cousin's situation. He introduces Terry to Summer McBride, a court clerk and aspiring lawyer. Over drinks, Summer explains how the local police use legal loopholes to seize people's money, keeping it for themselves. Terry shares that his cousin Mike provided information to catch dangerous criminals and could be attacked if transferred. With Mike's transfer scheduled for Thursday, Summer suggests Terry quickly gather bail money. Terry calls Mr. Liu, his restaurant partner, asking for $10,000, which Liu agrees to send. The next day, Terry visits the police to report a robbery, but corrupt officers thwart him. Chief Sandy intervenes, and Terry offers to let him keep his money in exchange for the bail. Terry learns the transport bus has already left when he arrives at the police station, and he rushes to tell his cousin to ask for protective custody. Terry seeks help from Summer, who reveals she has dirt on the corrupt cops and a judge involved in the scandal. To secure Mike's bail, he must quickly deliver the money to Elliot's desk. Returning to the police department, Terry confronts the chief and threatens him. Officer Steve intervenes, but Terry disarms both officers and cuffs them with Officer Sims' handcuffs. In the property room, he finds weapons and money, taking $10,000 while leaving the rest for the police. He instructs Jessica to pretend to cuff him and drive him away to avoid ranchers outside. After she drops him off, Terry rushes to the courthouse, but the police soon swarm and arrest him. Taken for a medical checkup, Chief Sandy offers Terry his cash, warning him to remain silent or face a 30-year sentence. Sandy reveals that Mike was attacked in prison and is at the hospital, but Terry arrives too late and finds Mike has died. He asks Summer for a ride home, and they are followed by a cop, but she reassures him that it's just her friend looking out for her. Summer tries to tell Terry about the need to expose the corrupt police, but he's frustrated and ignores her. He gives her his number for emergencies and leaves. Later that night, Summer wakes up to find she's been drugged and realizes the cops are involved when she sees their magnet on her fridge. She calls Terry, who rushes over and finds her safe in the shower. Summer explains that the cops injected her with a drug she used in the past, fearing she might lose custody of her daughter if tested. Despite Terry's reassurance, the judge calls Summer for a drug test, revealing his collusion with the police. Terrified, she complies. Meanwhile, Terry encounters Officer Steve, who shoots him for returning to town. Terry fights back, tasing Steve and fleeing into the fields. He goes to a Chinese restaurant where he asks Summer for burner phones. They plan to gather evidence against the corrupt police and confront the judge, who admits to working with Sandy to profit illegally from defendants. The judge was involved in corruption, receiving money from the police, with the state legalizing it by claiming funds would support government programs. The police conducted aggressive traffic stops, similar to Terry's earlier encounter, and recorded these searches on dash cams, which could provide evidence against them. Terry and Summer planned to steal the memory cards containing this footage from the courthouse catacombs. When they broke in, they found the cops already there. After a brief struggle with a fire, they started to destroy evidence. They grabbed the memory cards and set the fire again. Terry waited in the car while Summer went to get her urine sample, but she got caught by the officers. Witnessing her kidnapping, Terry followed the cops to a secluded area, incapacitating one and using his radio to negotiate with Sandy for Summer's release. Sandy instructed him to meet at Rebel Ridge by dawn, but instead, Terry ambushed the police department, shooting Sandy with beanbag rounds while loading up weapons. Jessica arrives, and Terry cooperates with her, trusting her because she is Summer's friend. He hands her the memory cards and instructs her to release them. As Terry confiscates Sandy's weapons, Sandy's men appear outside. He gives Jessica a loaded gun for protection and starts to pile up Sandy's money to burn it with gasoline. However, Jessica suddenly turns against him, insisting she wants to avoid gunfire and drags him outside. Officer Steve confronts Terry, stomping on the memory cards and revealing he knocked out Summer to eliminate witnesses. Just then, Officer Evan realizes the wrongness of their actions and steps in to protect Terry. A standoff ensues, with guns drawn on both sides. Sandy shoots Evan in the leg and disarms him, forcing Terry to flee. He and Evan take cover behind a car, where Terry throws smoke grenades for distraction. Evan instructs him to activate the car's dash cams, which will start recording in 3 minutes. Terry manages to take out the cops one by one, avoiding lethal force. He confronts Steve, finally taking his revenge for the earlier attack. He finds Summer unconscious in Steve's car and turns on the dash cams before driving toward Evan to rescue him. As they escape, Steve tries to climb into the back of the car, but Summer pushes him off. Sandy and his men pursue them, along with Jessica. In a twist, Jessica crashes Sandy's car to help Terry and the others escape. Terry drives to the hospital, where they admit Summer and Evan to the emergency ward. He rips out the camera storage drive from the car, planning to use it as evidence against Sandy.
I thought I was done.